Hi.
So you're a .com veteran. Let's get straight in and tell us about your background in this industry.
Okay, happy to. In many ways, Yosha represents a culmination of everything I've been doing in my work life and my entire life. My two grandfathers were born in Xiamen, in Fujian province, and they moved to Philippines, where my two parents were born. And I was born in Canada, so I speak English like this. And my two sons were born in China. So we've come all the way around the world in that sense to now here build Yosha, a service for China. In terms of the .com experience, I have, like Richard said, 10 years of consumer internet work experience as a CEO and founder. Prior to that, I was an entrepreneur in China. I actually first arrived in China in 1993. That was pretty much before the internet industry. So we were doing a ball bearing business, like zhoucheng, traditional industrial parts industry. So that experience combined with 6 years of work as a venture capitalist in the middle. I worked with 2 different private equity funds in Hong Kong for about 6 years. Then the internet boom, the first internet boom happened in the late 90s, and I quit my job and started my own venture. And I think all of these different experiences as an early entrepreneur in China, as a private equity guy for a while, and as an internet entrepreneur has basically kind of all leads up to Yosha, and hopefully that will enable me and our team and my co-founders to really make a great service for our end users.
So tell us about it. What is the service?
So Yosha, in a nutshell, is the China's LinkedIn. What that means is it's a platform for professionals and entrepreneurs to leverage their connections. If there's one thing that we really, really fundamentally believe, it's that connections are everything. And while that's true globally, it's particularly true here in China. As you know very well, guanxi, this word, English speakers use the word guanxi instead of translating it into something else in English. It has a special meaning, one that's difficult to translate directly. So we know and really believe that connections makes the difference between success and failure in business. So what Yosha is our effort to bring that alive for people. It's our effort to make a service for Chinese entrepreneurs and professionals where they can really, really make the most of their connections, and therefore they would actually make the most of their own personal success.
Why not just use LinkedIn?
Good question. There's many reasons. One is just a simple reason of language. There is no Chinese version of LinkedIn right now, so that's blocking a lot of people in China who might want to use it. Secondly, it's a matter of being local. I think a lot of our guests at this conference so far have been saying, gotta be local, gotta be here. There are no examples of foreign headquartered internet services that have become #1 in their category in China, all the way up from Google, eBay, Yahoo, and practically everybody else. So I think in order to be really successful here, you have to build it here, you have to be here. The team must be from here. I'm the only person in our whole team who did not grow up in mainland China.
The service is a little different, though, from LinkedIn, too, isn't it? Can you explain how it's different?
Yes, it's different in a number of ways. It's localized, and we've only just begun. But we recognize, we've looked at the market, we've asked ourselves the important question of why is there actually no such thing in China? Maybe some of the viewers from the States would be quite interested to know that in China we have some Facebook equivalents like Kaixin and Renren, and we have some YouTube equivalents like Tudou and Youku, but there's actually no LinkedIn equivalent type of service in China. We've been thinking about that for 3 or 4 years. One of my co-founders was one of the first movers in this space. And we have tried to build and design Yosha to deliver what other people are not delivering. Specifically, we're starting off with a very, very high quality user base. So what I did to start Yosha was to get 100 friends, 100 people who are all business leaders in China. I see a number of them here today, actually. So we have 100, we started off on February 22nd, just started, with 100 great people. It's an invitation-only structure, and those 100 people invited their business contacts. After 30 days, we had about 1,300 members who had joined, and after 60 days, we reached about 4,300. 2 or 3 days ago was our third month, and we're at about 15,000. So this will give you some idea of the growth rate. And the quality has been really high. We're very pleased with who are the Yosha members so far. Great people like Richard. Well, I've seen you in there too. You're my second-degree friend in Yosha through David Wolf. We have about 1,000 CEOs in Yosha right now out of the 15,000. We have over 1,000 directors, including managing directors. People use different titles. But overall, it's a really great quality user base. And that's really a very, very intentional effort that we're making to create something different and innovative rather than what's been done in the past.
Can I sort of play devil's advocate and ask you about the idea of sort of transferring a Chinese concept of guanxi onto the internet? Can it work? Because it seems to me that the kind of connection one has on LinkedIn is not the kind of connection that will get you very far if you really need guanxi in Beijing. You know, if your website's about to be shut down, your buddy on LinkedIn isn't going to be able to help you, if you know what I mean. It's somebody that you've known and eaten with, eaten lunch and dinner with, you've known each other's family for years and years and years. Is there not a danger that we're sort of taking the idea of guanxi and connections and making it a little too easy? All you have to do is press the I accept button. Is there a problem there? And if so, what can you do about it?
That's a really good question. Pressing the I accept button is just the beginning. And what we're trying to do in Yosha is definitely not to replace traditional guanxi or traditional methods of doing business and building relationships. That would be impossible. What Yosha is just an accelerator for guanxi. What it does is it just makes it much more efficient to have the dinner with the guy that you need to have dinner with. A lot of business is done seemingly randomly, through friends and connections. What Yosha does is enable that process to happen much more efficiently, and therefore you will have dinner with the right person sooner than you would without Yosha. I think that's the difference. But once you get to dinner, then it becomes the traditional way, and building the relationship is just the way it's always been.
What are your revenue models?
Our revenue models for Yosha are, we don't have any revenue right now, we just started. Our priority is to build this user base. We have really great confidence that if we continue to grow the way we've been growing and get some critical mass, the revenue streams or the monetization will follow, and follow easily through a variety of different revenue streams, value-added services, possibly some advertising.
What's the breakdown now between foreigners and Chinese, mainland Chinese citizens of your members? Do you know that?
Yes, it's geographically, it's about 80 to 90% in China and a lot in Shanghai and Beijing. In terms of foreigners and Chinese, it's about 70% or 70 to 80% Chinese, and the rest is foreigners. There's also a trend in Yosha of when Chinese people get an invitation in English, they tend to write back in English and even do their profile in English. So there are a lot of global Chinese people who are bilingual. I suppose they would also be LinkedIn users. But our real market is there's 40 odd million small and medium-sized enterprises in China, there's 20 and 30 million white-collar office workers in China. That's our true target.
So that's about 70 million people you're looking at.
All told, yes. The 43 million SMEs would include very, very small ventures, I believe. So I'm not sure if everybody is sitting in front of a computer, but yeah, that would be the largest possible addressable market.
Have you got a 5-year plan?
We have a 3-year plan.
Can you tell us about it?
Well, to do what I was saying earlier. So we just started. We have some great momentum purely through word of mouth. And for the 3-year plan is to continue to roll that out. We need to reach millions of people eventually, but do it through this quality approach of members inviting members.
Last question then. Any advice for somebody considering investing in or starting a business in China?
Well, I could repeat what everyone's been saying, which is be here, live here, be local. I think the really important and challenging part is the team. In the early stage space in China, there's a lot of great entrepreneurs, and they're very, very, very self-confident in terms of what they can do, what valuation they can get. It's relatively harder, I think, to find a team of guys that are all good guys. I think focus on building the team is my advice, and that would be the biggest thing that could impact success and failure.
On that note, Dominic, thank you very much.
Thank you.